Why R.E.D leadership?
Yeah, so I want to just really quickly, why did I write the book, right? Let me just go back. When I was a sophomore in college, before I even started college, I had to take what I call a remedial English class. They felt that my writing wasn't even up to par to even go to college in general. And then I remember it was my junior year, one of my professors said, your writing is not good enough for you even to get a master's or a doctoral degree. So this is 7 books from someone where they were told their writing wasn't good enough for the collegiate level. And then a professor said, your writing's not good enough to attain a master's or a doctoral degree. And not only did I prove him wrong there, but I wrote 7 books. And so I just want to be an inspiration to someone tonight. If you've had someone tell you that you'll never amount to nothing, tell you you can't do nothing, just let my life be a testimony that despite what they say, if you work hard, if you stay focused, anything is possible. Now, as it relates to this book, Tish, I was in my doctoral journey. And on this doctoral journey, it was during when we were about the 5th year of the Circle of Change Leadership Conference. And one of the things that I discovered really quickly is we would have hundreds of college students, and they would be excited, they would be motivated, and we'd say, we're looking for volunteers, we're looking for interns, people that want to be part of our campus ambassador program. And literally 40 and 50 people would sign up. And after about 3 to 4 months, people would go ghost. They'd be nowhere to be found. We'd have about 25% of people left. And I was like, what in the world is going on? Like people are so excited and then they just go ghost. And so during this time I was getting my doctoral degree, I had to do a dissertation on the impact of transformational leadership on retention. And I said, man, this will be a good time for me to use my dissertation to figure out what in the world is going on. And so I began to do my research and I began to go through that process of writing a dissertation. By the way, that took me 3+ years. And I was just writing this and I was doing my research. I realized I was not the only one with the problem. I realized there were companies and organizations that were scratching their heads dealing with the same issue as far as how do we retain individuals of the millennial generation? Because for whatever reason, people were not down with staying at a job for 30+ years anymore. They had different demands, they had different needs, and they made up in their minds that, you know what, if you're not going to give me what I need, I will move on somewhere else, and I will go somewhere else where they will take my talents. That's just like LeBron James. I'm taking my talents from Cleveland to Miami, but he did come back. But ultimately, that's how this generation. I know, Tish. I know. But this is what I was discovering. And so I began to do research and I began to understand there was a problem. And so now what I realized is not only can I solve my problem, but I can be a solution to many organizations and many companies as well. And so I began to focus my attention on not only solving the current problem, but how can I solve the problem at large? But as we fast forward and I begin to learn some things about retention, I also begin to realize another major issue. And the issue was there was a lack of retention engagement with culturally diverse millennials as well. Okay. When I use the word culturally diverse, I'm dealing with people of color. People use several different terms, but I was hearing all these stories about there were professionals of color in different companies, and they were upset because ultimately leadership wasn't doing their job, not only providing opportunity and access, but ultimately allowing them to be in a place where they can thrive and they can succeed. And what I realized is that affects retention. So now, Tish, there were 2 things that came forth. The first thing was this: I wanted to be part of the solution to a problem that companies are facing today. Number 2, because my parents are African American, I wanted to be that person that helped my people that are going through challenging situations right now. And the best way that I could do that is if I can help leaders be better at leading diverse groups of people from different cultural backgrounds, then ultimately not only is it going to benefit the leader, but here it comes, Tish, most importantly, it's going to benefit the person that's working with the leader. I'm sure if we went right now and said, I want everyone to raise their hand, how many of you have ever had a bad boss? I guarantee you 80% of people on this webinar, on this virtual class would raise their hand right now because we've all experienced it. And then if I said, if you ever had a good boss, raise your hand, and some people would raise their hand. And you will recognize that you perform better when you have good leadership versus bad leadership. So ultimately, when we empower leaders, ultimately we're empowering people and we're positioning them for success. So in a nutshell, Tish, that's one of the reasons why I created this book, is because not only I want to solve problems, but I want to help people become better leaders, and I want to create a resource where people could be under better leadership.